Hey babe,
Hey, what's up?
just relaxing here, enjoying the beautiful New Mexico serenity.
And rocking like old people on rocking chairs.
Just enjoying, right?
Yep.
Nice cool breeze up here on this wonderful veranda that we live on.
Yeah, it looks like it might get some rain again.
Yeah, it seems to be the case all the time in Silver City.
Lately. That wasn't the case before. But it seems like there is something going on.
Oh, I just think it's nice weather. It keeps the grass green,
That's true.
you know.
That's true.
So you're gonna get rid of that wasp nest for me there? Not?
They're not bothering us. I thought of that the other day. It's like we never use that door anyway, so they'll eventually just
We'll just leave them there?
give birth to their kids and go out.
Just like those birds did?
Exactly.
Well, we just got back from a workout.
Yep.
Killed the abs.
Absolutely.
Are you like the ab king or something?
Yep, pretty much. That's how I developed a nice 8-pack that I used to have before.
Wow. So, you were saying that as a woman you had more strength
Yes.
than you did after taking tea and transitioning.
Yeah, well, one of the things is when they removed my ovaries and uterus and all that, it really diminished my strength. As a female bodybuilder, I had a hell of a lot more strength than I do now.
But how is that? I mean, because testosterone is supposed to be like the
Well,
hormone for strength.
what people don't realize is that the body requires both estrogen and testosterone to actually create size and strength. It's something that humanity hasn't really delved into. They haven't really educated themselves enough to realize that you need both hormones to create a balance in your body. And so even like when you get, you know, a bodybuilder that completely wants to block estrogen, to take estrogen blocker because testosterone will convert into estrogen if you take high amounts.
Right.
They lose their strength and they lose the ability to actually get as big as if they were allowed that estrogen along with the testosterone.
So, like, the combination of estrogen and testosterone is kind of like the key.
Yes, for strength and size. You want to build size, you know. I believe that it's deeper than just hormones. I believe it's the energy source of the masculine and feminine energy together that creates a wonderful thing. And I think that's the story of what trans people were meant to be, except they got derailed.
Now, we were talking about, you know, like, you were saying that you had more inner fortitude, like, more inner, like, strength
Definitely.
before you had
My hysterectomy.
your hysterectomy. So, you lost some of that ability to just dig deep?
Yes.
Is that what you would say?
Yeah. It's like Samson cutting his hair,
Mm.
pretty much.
So, what do you do now to supplement that, to make that happen, or
You know, it's like
just
live with a limp.
count it as a loss?
Yeah. That's why it's so important that people realize what they're doing. You know, they think they're doing something grand, and in the end, it's really not as grand as they think it is. You're actually handicapping yourself. You're actually, you know, cutting your hair, as Samson did, and lost strength.
And we were watching a video that, well, an interview that someone did in 2002 about the effects of testosterone. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was.
You know, some of the stuff that a person that transitioned back then was talking about, how testosterone affected their body and how, you know, it changed their emotions and just how they related, you know, to people and everything.
And he also explained that it numbed him in many ways. You know, that it also made him into a sex fiend. That everything that he saw warranted a sex reaction inside of him. And, you know, you kind of wonder why men are so war-driven and so sexually driven.
I heard that guys, you know, they talk about, they're walking around and they see, some of the guys that I've spoken to say that they see women as being naked, even when they're clothed. You know, like, that's just how their perception is of, you you know, if they see a beautiful woman, they look at her and they have her naked in their mind.
Well, that's what that guy was explaining too. The FDM was explaining that he would like just, you know, before when he was a butch lesbian, he respected women and he saw women differently. When he started taking testosterone, he started objectifying women.
And he started, well, people started labeling him as misogynistic.
Yeah.
And for him to hear that was like, wait a minute. That's not what I ever stood for before, you know. What have I become? What have I been turned into? You know.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't realize what you think you're gaining something, but you're really losing a lot when you do this. When, you know, the years pass by, you really dig deep, you realize that you've really become incomplete instead of the completeness that you feel you have. And then there's nothing you can do about it. Because once you plunge.
Yeah, we were talking about getting this guy on the show, you know, to talk about the experiences and stuff. I guess he became a therapist, and you know, looks like so stereotypical of most FTMs. You know, they
all have the same.
They all lose their hair, and you know, they look older, and a lot of them aren't even physically fit.
Nope, they're overweight.
It's just, it's sad what happens though, you know, because in pursuit of trying to find something, you lose your own self.
And that's what a lot of people in the long run, after the honeymoon stage is over, that's what they end up finding, that you end up losing yourself.
Yeah. Because it was a pursuit. It was a pursuit to find something that you wanted so badly.
You thought you wanted. And I think what it is that the spirit nature of wanting to have that balance of the yin and the yang, the male and the female, that we're looking for the other and end up forgetting the female side and just throwing off the balance of all, tipping the scale of all masculine, and then you end up really realizing, what have I done? You know?
Well, I mean, most men want nothing to do with the feminine at all. They, you know, it's like they're taught by their male upbringing that that's something that's weak, that's something not to be appreciated. Men don't show emotion. Men don't, like, along with not showing emotion, they obviously don't cry. Men aren't empathetic. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, the typical, you know, when a little boy was, you know, got an owie when he got hurt, what would daddy say?
Right. Toughen up.
Toughen up.
Boys
that was
cry.
nothing. I remember my dad would say, "Oh, eso no era nada."
That's nothing.
You know, and it's like, my mom would go, "Ay, mijo," you know, and like she'd be all worried and stuff, and go get the Band-Aid and the Bactine or whatever, you know, and but you know, males aren't brought up with that type of empathy at all. They're taught to close that part of them down. And one thing that you told me in the gym was that one thing that we were noticing about, you know, because, you know, you just sense the energy of certain people, you know, and these guys that are all crazy about working out and stuff and getting fit, you could just sense that energy about them, you know. And you said one thing that really struck me was, you know, that man looks like he's tough, you know, he acts it, he wears it on his sleeve, but inside, he wants a mother's love.
He's a little baby.
Yeah.
A baby boy just wanted his mom to cuddle him.
Yeah.
And misses that and strives for that and looks for that in a woman, you know. And it's a battle that he has with his machismo and his gentleness.
Right.
Know? And it's like the devil and the angel, that war that goes within. And
yeah, it's a fight.
Yeah, it's a fight. And that's a fight that humanity's fighting, you know. Long-lived fight. You know, and it shouldn't be a fight, it should be a balance. Balance between your yin and your yang, your male and your masculine. And I think that's when you find peace.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, it's the perfect combination, you know, and, you know, trans people have it wrong because they try to go from one side of it all to the other side of it all. And that's not the answer. The answer is finding that middle ground,
blending it in,
and working with what you have.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think there's lots to understand. Lots of people don't know about hormones yet, about what they can potentially do. I mean, I think that, like we were talking about testosterone in this, conversation, and just how aggressive testosterone is to the body in changing it. I mean, like when that person that was being interviewed on that radio interview said, within a matter of days, my body changed. It wasn't like a matter of weeks. It was like you could just sense, it's like you get this aggressiveness to you, and that seems to be like what happens in society, is that, it's so full of this male, rage and testosterone driven aggression that's why we're constantly at war with each other. That's why we're constantly fighting amongst each other. And if we would just allow that other energy, that nurturing energy, that that energy that
Heals.
is absolutely necessary for human life.
But
human life wouldn't even exist without that energy.
Everything in this world is based, from religion to finances to whatever, is based on that masculine model, masculine protocol, and that's why it fails.
That's like the standard. That's like the highest of the two, and it's like, I think women have gotten a bad rap throughout the centuries.
Well, women haven't been allowed to voice their opinion, their needs, or to actually bring forth their 2 cents on things. Everything has been very masculine led, and hence the world we live in that's failing. It's full of diseases and full of war. And now women are being mocked completely by this whole trans agenda.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sad.
Yeah, I think that, if men could understand the importance that the feminine has in affecting the world around us, I mean, like I was saying before, life wouldn't even exist without feminine energy.
Can I tell you something? Men fear women. They fear women in many, many ways, because the inner strength that a woman truly has.
Oh, I've heard of it. Like that kind that lifts cars and rescues the child that's under, after the accident and stuff like that. That the police officer's like, how did you have the strength to do that? And it's like, women have this inner fortitude,
and it's not just a strength as in being strong, as in strength, but just an inner strength inside their spirit. Emotional inner strength. And you look like, if men were the ones having babies in the world,
there'd be a lot of whining.
We wouldn't be having many babies, put it that way.
Probably not.
And the strength of taking care of kids no matter what and what they do, I mean, it's a very important energy source, and I think this world would be very different if females were in charge. But men have feared us and have put us down, have not allowed us to be, leaders.
But I think women have been sold that by men, and they just think that, because I remember my ex telling me, oh, woman president, that'd be the worst thing ever. And it's like she was sold into the thought that a woman doesn't have the emotional, the logic, the capability to lead.
That's a lie, but that's been a lie that has been keeping women as second-class citizens, as dirt, as dirty. I mean, if you look at a lot of these, I remember I used to have clients that were Jewish, and they would make love to their wife on a sheet, and it would create a hole, because women were considered dirty. And if they were near their period or on their period...
Oh my gosh, this is so loud.
Yeah.
It's like they all get to singing together.
Yeah.
See, nature gets along.
Yeah.
Why can't we?
But anyway, they were considered dirty, and the man, if you were like a health practitioner and you were on your period, you weren't allowed to treat the Jewish man because that was considered dirty.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's been a long time. Women have been seen as second-class citizen, and everything around the world has been based on the masculine model. And that needs to change. And I think that's the only way this world's going to change.
I think that, you know, us being a representation of the opposites and stuff, I think that helps in somewhat visualizing the compassion that people should have for the opposite gender, you know, because I think, you know, just the choices that we have made and the, you know, the situation that we have before us and how we have chosen to not completely transition in the sense of like completely going back to being our, you know, original biological gender on the outside, although we never change on the inside who we are, you know. I mean, it's set in stone, it's what it is, but you know, we have an opportunity to challenge, you know, I have an opportunity to challenge men to look at a feminine energy in a different way than they would. But like I was telling you before though, you know, with a male, it's so much harder to assimilate back into society as a male, societally. Whereas as a female, women have a place to go. They're sisters. You know, there's no brotherhood. There's a sisterhood, you know. And once the brotherhood, you know, person gives up the brotherhood card.
There was never a brotherhood to start off
there
with.
Wasn't. There wasn't.
Men,
everybody's a lone ranger.
Yeah, it's like who wins the most wars, and it's all about them. And if you look at the trans women, it's all about them. They can continue the same behavior as so-called women.
Even wanting to boot women out of their place and their role in society. It's like Bruce Jenner. I want to be the best woman, the better woman, the better version, the new normal.
They're not changing anything about them. It's just because they're wearing a dress and they're wearing a wig, you know, they haven't changed their behavior at all. Right. You know, unlike women and even FTMs. So, you know, I think FTMs are a more cohesive group. You know, you've got a few here and there that, you know, are assholes, but the majority, you know, they try to talk things through just like a woman would. Yeah. You know, and it's, I think that all in all, coming back to the energy of allowing the feminine energy to be more of a dominating force than the masculine, I think we're going to finally find peace and healing. And I think there's an evolution taking place. And I think that's why we're seeing all this, you know, gender variant kids, and it's almost like the universe is speaking.
It's like nature itself is trying to correct the problem.
Exactly.
Well, it's been insightful, you know, I mean, it's always interesting, you know, because there's so much to talk about.
Oh, there is. Talking about tonight we have a show at 9
We do.
Mountain Time. It's called Narcissistic and Neurotic World. We talk about, you know, the latest, really bizarre. It's a more Munchausen by proxy with a Down syndrome lesbian who is being seen as an FTM, and the mother has a long history of causing all sorts of diseases on this individual, and Dirk's done a lot of great research on this.
How did Dirk get the scoop on? Well, I guess that's why Dirk's called Dirk.
Oh, because he really...
Dirt gets the dirt.
She really does get the dirt out there.
Yeah.
She really does her homework. And to think that the Olsen are promoting this, you know...
Not the Olsen twins. Not from family...
Dr. Joe Olsen.
Oh, Joe Olsen and Aiden Olsen Kennedy.
Olsen, yeah. So...
That's weird that he took on her name.
Yeah.
He's an FTM.
He's, I mean, yeah.
Well, we've been trying to dig up information on Dr. Olsen, and it is hard.
Bizarre.
I mean, Dr. Olsen was in Thailand back in 2012.
Yeah, is she in MTF?
We don't know.
A child that all of a sudden appeared at the age of 20 months and looks very
much like a trans kid.
Yeah, gender variant kid. And is that her plight for what she's doing? Mm-hmm. You know, because she's got
something
kid
invested, personal.
Yeah. And now she marries an FTM. So there is a lot of like craziness there that we've been trying to investigate.
Should be good.
Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned tonight, 9 p.m. Invite your friends to watch.